What's good, YouTube? Once again, it's the one and only OG Hollywood coming at you with another edition of the Ferguson Chronicle, where we bring it live from the day room to the streets to the living room. Today, I have in studio an individual by the name of Mr. Frank. Mr. Frank, he's here to tell his story of his time spent in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. But before I get started, I always have to tell you a little bit about me. Did 25 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. 10 of that was on the Ferguson unit, and 5 of it was on the beto 1 unit. But like I say, it doesn't matter where you did time at or what state you did time in. We was all incarcerated, so that makes us brothers of the struggle. So without further ado, let's tap in with Frank, please. What's good, Frank?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, like I was telling the viewers, man, I brought you in today, man, to tell your story, man, and your time spent in that Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man. And that's pretty much it, man. So do me a favor, man, go ahead and tell the viewers where you're from, a little bit about you, and what led you to prison.
Well, originally I've been all over Fort Worth. I lived in Stop 6, growing up, Castlewood, Prince Hall, and then moved to the south to the project. So yeah, I've been all over Fort Worth, man. But originally from the south and from Butler Housing.
So let me ask you a question, man. So what year did you arrive in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice?
I hit beto in '95.
beto 1 unit. I'm familiar with the beto 1 unit, man. So do me a favor, man. When you pulled up at the back gate of the beto 1 unit, man, go ahead and tell me what was going through your mind when you pulled up at the beto 1 unit.
Well, really not knowing what to expect. We coming in, going through classification, and I had been in diagnostics for about 10 days. And so, you hear all these stories growing up about, prison, seeing shit on TV and all that. So when we rolled up to the back of the unit, really not knowing what to expect, just kind of ready for anything. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, this really it, shit, what I got myself into. And so, yeah, it was crazy.
So now, you went in the back gate of the beto 1 unit, man. Now, like I said, I'm familiar with the beto 1 unit, man. And you see that long hallway. And go ahead and tell me, because I know you've been out for quite some time.
Yeah.
But if you can remember, man, what were some of the sounds, that you heard in the hallway? And what were some of the things that you saw?
Shit. It was really sort of kind of like the streets, niggas screaming and hollering and yelling and, all kind of movement. I was classified out. They put me on U-Wing. So I was passing down in the hallway, just kind of looking in the windows and shit. You see all the, little rows and shit, 3 tiers and, folks on the window screaming and hollering. Like, what's up? Saying what's up, cuz, and all that kind of stuff. So, it was really just like going through my mind, like, damn, where I got myself into.
So now, I know you said U-Wing.
Yeah.
U-Wing was known for a closed custody block, right?
Yeah.
Now, pulling up on U-Wing for the first time, right? What was it like for Frank?
Well, it's kind of wild because when I got there, they was turning out the whole squad at that time. So motherfuckers running runs, screaming and hollering, everybody just getting ready to turn out for the fields. And so that was my first experience with that, not knowing what to expect. That's my first time. So just really just kind of just to myself, just kind of really ready for anything. And then it was a couple of homies that that I met later on once I had been there a couple of days. But yeah, it was a different experience, man. You can't really just mentally get prepared for it. You hear stories, but nothing could prepare you for that. It's something you just you would have to experience for yourself.
And I know you said they was getting ready to turn out for the fields, right?
Yeah.
So what was it like for you going to the field?
Well, yeah, it was tough, but I had prior to going to Beto, I was on Gurney, and Gurney got a mean host squad. So even though Beto Fields was tough, they ain't got shit on. They didn't have shit on Gurney at the time. But yeah, you did 2 halves. You get up early in the morning and you go get it, and then after working all day or half a day in that hot ass sun out there chopping grass and cutting trees or whatever they was having you doing at the time, you come back in, eat chow, and then shit, you go right back out for that second half. And they had you rocking on it, head high. And then at that time, I didn't have no experience with no ag and shit. They had them commercial eggs. I think them boys like 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And so shit, they got the lead row and the tail, and they want them eggs head high and you rocking on it. And so shit, the first week, nigga, hands bleeding and shit through the gloves, all kind of calluses. But you learn, you kind of adapt a little bit, and then you got to push through.
So let me ask this, man. So, and I know back then when you went just as well as when I was on Beto, man, it was what it was, right? And let's talk about the first altercation you had to kind of like earn your respect, because when you get there back then, dudes wasn't giving you the respect. You had to earn that.
Right.
So let's talk about the first time that you had to interact with an individual to earn your respect.
Right. Well, after being there about a month, I ain't really had no issue. And then until, on Sunday, they call that hoe check day. So you go up under the shed where they lift weights at and shit, you check paper. So, I was out there one day and I ended up checking somebody. And then, Kev, like, how you gonna check somebody? Nigga, you ain't nobody even looked at you. And so he called me out. And then shit, we went there, and then they backdoored me about 3 times. And so shit, I stand up and fade that shit. And that's just pretty much how it went. In prison is everybody wanna win, but shit, it's just about being a man and really holding your own and standing up for yourself. That's just kind of what my experience. But yeah, I had like 3 fights on U-Wing, and after that, and one of the dudes that ended up being my celly when I got reclassified went to P-Wing. So my boy Annual Jackson, AJ,
Yeah.
out of H-Train.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, AJ. Yeah, so after that, I ain't really had no more issues.
So let me ask this, man. So when you got all that out of the way as far as earning your respect, man, and everybody start to realize that you wasn't who they thought you were, and you were gonna stand up for yourself, right?
Yeah.
So as time went on, man, because I know when we went down there, just like I was, and you was, we was young, and we thought that certain things was cool, or that's what it was, right?
Right.
And what age, if you can remember, did you start to realize, hey, man, I don't belong in this motherfucker?
Well, I went in 19, and so I just say this here. I I ain't had to go. I was just out there wilding, doing dumb shit, just kind of, being defiant, being rebellious, not wanting to listen to nobody. And I had, good people in my life, but I just chose to do it my way. And so I feel like I broke in that motherfucker. As crazy as that sound. So, but man, I was probably about, I don't know, my 21st birthday, when I turned 21, I was still on U-Wing, and I'm like, damn, man, we on lockdown and shit, eating Johnnies and shit like that, and I'm like, man, this ain't the life for me, I gotta make some different changes, and so once I got off closed custody, you go through the little process, you go to medium and then minimum custody, and then I started going to school. Read different type books, just trying to educate myself. Shit, I got an associate's degree. I graduated, got my associate's degree and graduated off coffield. So that was a turning point for me. About 21, 22, but I had a 15-year sentence, for aggravated robbery. So I went in at 19 and got out at 28. And I ain't been back.
That's a good look. That's the most important thing, is not going back.
Right.
Because we all can get out.
Right.
But it's not about getting out, it's about staying out. Right.
Yeah, and see, I think that's I made that a goal. You have to really make that a goal. Once you get out, the goal is to stay out. And so for me, I ain't make no excuses. I paid my dues. Got out. It wasn't easy. It was a struggle. Dad old and disabled on fixed income, mama on drugs and shit. So I just been down on my mouthpiece, man, and head up, chest out, and did what I had to do. And then I've been out since November 2002, so it's going on 20 years.
And you know what they say, man, if a man can survive the first 6 months, man, the chance of him staying free is forever.
Correct.
It's that first 6 months is what's troubling, and when you don't have the support that you need, that's what they call the struggle time. And most men will revert back to the streets, and wind up back in the system, man. So salute to you, man, for being out 20 years. That's a long time, man. That's 20 years of some of these guys' age that's in the world now.
Right.
And you've been out for 20 years, man. So let me ask you this, man. So you've been out for 20 years. What are some of those things after you was released that you brought back with you from a mental standpoint to allow you, man, to prosper since you've been free, man? What are some of those things you think back on, man?
Really just kind of, I know it sounds cliche, Project Rio helped, because I did that. I'm sure a lot of folks had to go through Project Rio. I did the therapeutic community, rules and tools of all those viewers that's been in one of those therapeutic communities. I won't pull up on your negative behavior, but just identifying thinking errors, little mistakes I made prior to going in, just trying to avoid certain situations I know that was triggers for me until I was strong enough to be in any environment and be able to resist some of the activities that's going on. And then just having support of my family, my kids, and getting up, going to work every day, not making no excuses. I went back to school. Once I got out, I went to UTA, got me a bachelor's, got me a master's, and then just trying to keep putting myself in winning positions, and then stuff started happening for me. And before I knew it, man, I had been out 5 years, 10 years, got out parole, and just trying to be consistent like that. But just the main thing, just being aware, not falling. And I know it's hard because the struggle is real, but not, just being disciplined and just staying focused.
So let me ask you this, man. So the situation that you was in when you was incarcerated, right? And from a mental standpoint, man, because I know prison is a mental game,
Right.
you know, and when you behind those walls, man, sometimes realness is not enough.
Right.
You know, because we've seen real men do things that we never thought they would do, like
Right.
try to kill themselves, or men will kill themselves, you know. So from a mental standpoint, man, what was it like for you to wake up in there every morning, man, until you were free?
Man, that shit was hard. Sometimes you know, truth be told, man, them late night hours you in your rack and you thinking about life and shit like that, shit, it bring tears to your eyes, you know. Not getting mail, not having commissary. I didn't get a visit. I was like 4 or 5 years in, you know, and then, you know, seeing your people getting older, shit going on the outside you can't control, loved ones passing away, you can't attend the funeral. So all that play a part, and that was some hard time for me in that aspect. But then just trying to be mentally, you know, just trying to deal with the reality that I was in. You know, a lot of times, you know, you like I remember saying, old convict, like, you know, you can't do time with the calendar and shit. It
Yeah.
gets hard. And so just learning how to do time, had a routine. You know, of course, I had different jobs in there. Shit, I worked, started off in the fields, but eventually I got in the kitchen. I did flow crew, I did scullery, I worked the line, and then I got an ODR, and then just learning how to do time. And eventually, you know, I made trustee, moved out to the trustee camp, but just trying to occupy your mind. And, you know, I'm going to serve Talene, Juma, you know, read different books, you know, just trying to work on my spiritual and just really, you know, my mind and my heart, just trying to be a better person, actually, because than the person that I was when I went in.
So let me ask you this, man. So let's talk about some of the progress you've made in 20 years since you've been here, man. Let's talk about some of the struggles first before we talk about some of the things that you are most proud of in those 20 years that you've accomplished since you've been free.
You know, so some of the struggles early on, getting out, not shit having my own, you know, having to go back and live, you know, with my parents. Shit, when I first got all my clothes too small, so got bills and don't have money to pay, you know, for the shit that I need, and so and not having income early on, but you know, end up getting a job at KFC,
Yeah.
making $7 an hour. And I remember, you know, being because my dad was still in the projects in the Butler, and so some homies come through and they outside and they laugh because you know they having money and they own, and shit, I'm going to work at KFC making $7 an hour, and so didn't have transportation. I was, you know, footing to catching the bus, walking, but I took my ass to work, and I remember I got that first paycheck. It was $200. You know what I'm saying? I was happy to motherfucker because
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I worked all them years down there for free, for nothing. So, you know, being able to get out and get a job, even though it was paying $7, it was more than what I was making when I was in the penitentiary. So those struggles, then having kids, you know, you want to support them, but not having the means at the time, you know, on child support, and you know how that go. Shit, they want that child support. So just trying to find a way to be able to do all that and then still, you know, be able to support myself.
What is the most thing that you are proud of in the 20 years since you've been free, man?
Oh man, I done did some of the things I wanted to do, man, in life. I finished college. Um, I've been a few places. I've been able to travel. Man, I've been Miami a couple of times, Atlanta, Seattle. Where else? I've been to Jamaica. I did shit like 5 weeks in Mexico with UTA, studying Spanish abroad. Think I got a passport, shit. And so just being able to move how I want to move without all the restriction. And got out parole, of course. I got out parole 2010. And so I done bought a few houses and had several cars and had, all kind of money. And I just did it by just staying down, working, grinding, and staying focused. So, got 5 kids, most of them grown. And so, I've been able to do some things in the 20 years I've been out. So that's kind of those things I'm most proud of.
The one thing that you fear most in 2022, what's the one thing that you fear most in 2022?
Oh man, way shit is, man, fucking it off. Not cause I'm gonna go do something stupid, but just how shit is in the world, in society, man. A lot of shit going on in the city and in the world. So just getting in the cross, getting in the situation where you might have to take a penitentiary chance to protect yourself. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
So let me ask you this, man. So, and you overqualified to answer this question. That's why I'm asking you, because you've been out 20 years. Most men don't last 20 years in the world free without catching some type of case and revisiting the system. However, you found a way in your life to overcome that, and you've been out here for 20 years, man. So let me ask you this, man. So from your personal opinion, man, in order for a man to stay free for as long as you have, what's the key to it?
Well, of course, you need family support. You need a support system. You need some training. College might not be for everybody, but that was an avenue I took. But you do need some type of training, vocational training, job skills, and then getting up, going to work. Not making no excuses, not feeling sorry for yourself. Everybody, got something they dealing with, but just getting up, grinding, man, and finding a way to get it done at the end of the day. And I know it's easier said than done, but shit, I did it and still doing it. That I remember my daddy used to tell me all the time, a slow nickel beat a fast dime. A slow nickel beat a fast dime. And at the time, I guess, it seemed simple, but at that time, I wasn't, I guess old enough to understand the wisdom he was laying on me. So I would say a slow nickel beat a fast dime. I know we like fast money and shit, easy money, but that come with consequences. And so, man, I would say get a job or start your own business, get legit. Nigga, if you can sell dope, you can sell houses, you can sell cars, because the business principles are the same. So I guess that would be my advice or my recommendation to stand out. And changing certain situations, they say dangerous people, places, and things. So sometimes you got to cut folks out. Sometimes we cool, we grew up together, but you know, we ain't moving the same. You're going in a different direction. And that's okay, you know. So just being able to recognize when, you know, that, you know, you just got to move different, man. That's what I would say.
Once again, real live people, real live story with nothing is ever scripted at the Ferguson Chronicle, man, where we bring it live. And let me ask you this, man, before we get out of here, man, because I mean, once again, man, 20 years is a long time to be free, man. And your knowledge, not only that, man, the way you carried yourself after incarceration, man, is over the top. Let me put it like that, man.
Appreciate it.
And what I like for you to do, man, because at the end of every show, I always like a person to close the show, and they know, man, and you know, salute to whoever they want to salute to, and whomever you might think that is watching this video. I give you a chance to shout out to them too, man. But like I say, man, I appreciate you for coming, man, and it's no words, man, that can explain your situation and the way you've carried yourself. In other words, you set the bar high for any man that have been incarcerated, man. And it's people like you, man, that are appreciated on this channel, man. So for me to you, man, I salute you, man. You know, and even though I'm here interviewing you, you could easily be interviewing me because you got the credentials to do that. You know, I'm trying to make 20 years free.
Right.
You know? So I salute you for that, man. So at this time, man, go ahead and salute whoever you want to salute to, man, and shout out to whoever you feel like that deserve to be shouted out to, bro.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna shout you out. I appreciate you having me on the show doing the interview. It's the first time, really, you know, in 20 years, been able to, you know, open up and talk about some of the things, well, as far as my prison experience. But so shout you out, the platform. You know, I really just found out about it, and I, you know, when we met, and I tuned in. So appreciate what you're doing. Shout out to all the homies that know me, and those that still on lock, doing their bid. That's you know, really all I got to say, man.
So, man, like I say, once again, I appreciate you for coming, man. For the people, man, like always, man, the Ferguson Chronicle gonna keep it 110. The day we kept it past 110, man. And like I say, man, 20 years is a long time, man. Keep pushing, man, because it's positive people like you, man, that people really want to see.
Right.
You know, because sometimes people paint a picture of prison as being glorified, right?
Right.
But today, you are the epitome of the Ferguson Chronicle, man. And I'd like for you to know that, man. 20 years of freedom is a long time, man. You've been free longer than some of these young men have lived their life. Some people lost their life at 20, and you've been free for 20. So
right.
That, you know, that tells a lot about you, man. And I'm quite sure, man, people will appreciate this this interview that you gave today, man. First interview, man. I'm glad you gave to the Ferguson Chronicle, man, because we need people like you in society, man. So once again, I salute you, man. I appreciate you for coming, man. And may God bless you and anything you touch, and most of all, anything around you, man.
Appreciate
it.
Already. I appreciate you, OG Hollywood. Salute.
Once again, real live people, real live story where nothing is ever scripted at the Ferguson Chronicle, man. And just like Frank said, man, freedom is hard to obtain. However, if you do the right thing, you will stay free. Once again, COET, character over everything. And he just proved it. Character will take you a long way in life. And he's proved it. 20 years free. Salute.